bring in Steiner Sports CEO Brandon Steiner.
One of the country's top memorabilia mogul.
I have an unbelievable guest, Brandon Steiner.
Brandon's second to none.
You know I love talking Yankee baseball, so stay right where you are if you're a baseball fan, but you're going to love this story. Austin Romine, catcher for the New York Yankees. Welcome to the show, Project X. But you are kind of a Project X. By the way, Heart and Hustle Award last week. Do I need to say anything more? Memo to self, heart and hustle, never give up. Kind of the premise, which is what I love about you. You're kind of like the silent assassin, you know, sitting back and, you know, all the other big names. And then all of a sudden, you're in a position.
That's right.
How you feeling?
Feel good. Feel lucky. Feel blessed to be in a good position on a good team that, you know, it's got good chemistry. It's really fun to be a part of this.
Now, lucky and blessed is that home run you hit last night, 318 feet.
Hey, if it goes over, it's gone. It doesn't matter if it's 440.
My sentiments exactly, and probably the only possible home run that I remotely, maybe on a great, most perfect day I'd hit.
Yeah.
I mean, could it be any? Is that the shortest home run you could hit in baseball?
I think that's the shortest home run I've hit, probably. But you know what? As long as they go over the fence and we get some runs, that means we're going to win. So
when you
I'll
hit a
take
home run like that, are they ribbing you a little bit because it just kind of squeaked over the fence on the shortest part of the park?
Well, I think a little bit, but I think they understand that those are some big runs right there. We got a guy that's throwing the ball really well in Hap, so
yeah.
You know, I mean, we'll take it. They know I'm trying to go the other way. There's no secret in my game coach.
And that's a good discipline in hitting, being able to go the other way, which you seem to have found your way.
Yeah. No, it started because I wasn't playing a lot, because I was backing up Gary and not getting in too many games, playing once maybe every 4 or 5 days. I had to find a way to simplify my approach. Stayed up the middle and go the other way. It seemed to work.
Let's talk about the important stuff. First of all, how do you come up with your song that when you come up to bat, what your song is?
It's Black Dog by Led Zeppelin.
Now, I'm sitting there going, that is random and very rogue. Like, where does that come from? and you know, my first concert was Led Zeppelin back in 1975, a few days before you were born. And, you know, I walk up to, you know, we had no tickets.
Yeah.
So I walk up, I'd never been to a concert before, and I go to my friend, I go, it's sold out. He goes, just walk around and you ask people if they have an extra. So he goes and parks the car, and I'm walking around. I had no idea. I was 15 years old what to do. And this lady walks up and gives me 2 tickets and says, is this for you? I said, yeah. She says, okay, here you go. And sure enough, those were second row center.
Wow.
Orchestra.
Exactly.
Now, I never smoked pot, never did anything wrong. And I go into a Led Zeppelin at 15, and it was insane. But I've become a big Led Zeppelin fan, and I'd never heard that for...
Yeah, it's not. No one comes out to classic rock anymore. I joke with Neil Walker all the time because Neil comes out to Zepp too. So, little back-to-back Zeppelin coming every. I think Booney likes putting us back-to-back just so he can hear Zeppelin playing every night or something.
I'm loving that. Now, your father played Major League Baseball.
Yes.
So is it kind of in your blood? Did you kind of learn from watching him? And your brother played also, or?
Yeah, my brother plays for Seattle right now.
So you have that. Is that make a big difference to having that in your family like that, or?
Yeah, the pedigree. Yeah. I mean, baseball was life from the moment I was born. It was a big part of our family. It's what united our family. So it was something that we could sit around and talk about, and at dinner we'd talk about. And my brother and I both knew where we wanted to be when we were older, and we knew the road that we needed to take to do it. And my parents were behind me and laid it out, and you know, we executed the plan.
Why catcher though?
Well, I played football too when I was growing up. I was a middle linebacker. I always had to be involved as much as I could in the plays, and I don't know, catcher's cool, man. You get to wear gear, and you got to be tough, and you just got to get stuff done.
I agree. The catcher's cool, and you're in every play, and you're kind of telling people what to do a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's
I mean, you get to call a game,
right?
It's fun. It's fun to play that mental chess match with the other team, the hitters. You know, who's adjusting pitch to pitch, bat to bat, game to game. It can get fun at times.
Yeah, my kid was a catcher when he had his run, and I just love watching him. You know, we kind of did it together because I could never play baseball. No, not a day of baseball ever. Which I always said to a lot of players, you know, that I think I could hit major league pitching, and we were going to have this bet. I mean, and do you think there's any shot that a normal person can get up there and 25 major league pitchers even hit the ball, or is it that hard?
I mean, I'm sure they can hit it. It is tough. It's tough. It's evolved, too. I mean, even from 5 years ago, you know, 95, 96 was hard. Now everybody throws 95, 96. Now 100. Now we're seeing 104. But the biggest thing is that balls are moving now. It's not 100 straight anymore. It's 100 with two seam action. We got a guy that throws 104 with a cutter. Like,
And then,
Chappie.
and then throws an 84-mile-an-hour curveball.
I mean,
Or
the
changeup,
speed
rather.
differential is
Yeah.
out of control now. Guys are throwing harder than ever. Balls are moving at a higher rate. I mean, it's hard to hit and it's hard to catch at times.
Got to be really hard to catch. What's it like preparation-wise for a catcher? Because a lot of people, this show is about a lot of people that are trying to get started, people that are starting out with ideas, businesses. How hard is it? Because almost like every game is almost like starting a business for you. New pitcher, new situation. Lately, a lot of new pitchers.
Yeah.
You got a lineup. Talk to me about preparation.
Well, I mean, it can differ at times. I mean, if you got a guy that pitches one way, I mean, that's it. You're rolling by it. But if you got a guy that can do multiple things to both sides of the plate, throw 2 or 3 different pitches on one side and 2 or 3 different on the other side, you got to really know how to set guys up. A lot of videos involved now. I mean, we get iPads and there's endless, video everywhere to look at.
Like you got a game tonight. Are you like a couple hours of preparation? Are you?
I mean, I've already done it. I woke up and I'll look at the guy who's starting tonight in Cessa. I'll look at his last start just to see where he's at, what's working well for him, and then I'll take into account how these guys did last night and the opposing team, how we pitched them, how they reacted, and how this guy's stuff's going to play against them. Maybe an hour or so, but I also got to hit. I got to do some stuff at the field, but on and off, I'll have some stuff at my locker I can look at. There's hot and cold. There's so much stuff you could look at. It gets boring at times, but
So you don't overdo it, but you
no,
do it.
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to when I was younger and I was a rookie. They'd give me a book and I tried to read the whole thing, and it just got in the way. A lot of the times you just go out there, you read what your pitcher's doing well, you call a game to his strengths, and you adjust in game.
You have that rough series against Boston.
Yeah.
It happens, but what's the mental mindset as you move away from that series now? Are you back to the underdog role now a little bit internally because nobody thinks you could do it?
Yeah, I mean, people are going to think what they want to think. I mean, I think if us as a team are going to accomplish anything, we have to continue to think that we're the best team in baseball. So that's how we kind of look at it. It can be cliche or whatever you think, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you have to have that kind of mentality, just like every guy in that locker room thinks he's the best baseball player in the world. You have to have that mentality to push yourself to be the best. Everybody on this team holds themselves accountable, and everybody has each other's backs, and that's one of the best things about being on this team is the chemistry is unbelievable.
You never see any finger pointing, or you see a lot of ownership.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
people take it too. I mean, if they don't do well, they know. If you don't do their job, people stand up for it. And let's be honest, in the media market of New York, that's probably the best approach. You don't want to run from it. You want to be like, hey, I'm not doing my job. I got to pick it up.
Yeah, I always say fail forward. At least you fall on your face, but at least you're failing forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And one of the best things is that nobody takes credit for it either. We got a guy in Didi Gregorius who is an outstanding baseball player and an even better human being. And I mean, this guy can hit 4 home runs in a game, and you never know it. I mean, he's congratulating everybody else, sending out tweets about other people. The selflessness it's unbelievable.
You're a little bit of an underdog, though. Did you approach the season that way? Like nobody's really saw you coming. And how do you get through that mindset?
Well, let's be honest. No one ever really saw me coming ever. I was just the guy that did my job, and that's how I always, presented myself. I said I'm never gonna be the guy that's gonna do something crazy and hit 50 homers. Maybe, but it probably, it's just never gonna go that way. I'm the guy that they can count on. I'm the guy that can do my job. I'm gonna give you a good game behind the plate, and I'm gonna get done what needs to get done at the plate.
Are you get better? Are you beat yesterday? You get better every day still? Are you still in that mindset, or do you feel like you're kind of in a groove now where you found your game?
I think I've acknowledged what I do well and what I bring to the table. I've stopped trying to do more than, I'm capable of doing. Not what I want to do, what I need to do so that this team can win the game. And sometimes when you simplify everything in your approach and stuff like that, good things are happening.
You said something like, I think I heard this on the post game on the way home last night. You said something like, I was tired of being an automatic out, so I shortened my swing and I made adjustments.
Yeah.
Did you actually say, wait a minute, I'm not tolerating this behavior, I'm going to do something different?
Well, I mean, I was just trying to figure out who I was and what kind of hitter I was for a little while. So I figured out playing every 4 or 5 days against Major League pitching, I can't do what I want to do. I need to do what I need to do to produce at that time. So shortening the swing, shortening the leg kick, staying up the middle, hitting pitches I know I can hit rather than trying to hit everything. And a lot of that goes with maturity, is growing up, learning the game, learning how they're going to pitch you, learning how the game moves and flows. It got a little easier, but yeah, I know my strengths now, and I try to stick with them as long as I can.
Are you a little bit of a therapist out there? I've talked to different catchers over the years, and usually there's all different kinds of conversation.
Oh, yeah.
When you go out to the mound? Are you a funny guy when you go out to the mound? Are you a serious guy? Posada was all business.
Yeah.
Very serious when you went out to the mound.
Well, I always get made. The guys always, get on me about not smiling enough. I mean, I take baseball very seriously. I think we're all there to do a job, and we owe it to, the team and the organization and the fans to play the right way and play hard and win. But there's certain times, and it's more of the guy who's pitching that dictates how you act. There's guys that, you can get on that are higher energy guys. And then there's guys that you might have to coddle a little more and steer them in the right direction and use, positive reinforcement. And then there's guys that you can just say something off the wall and get them laughing, bam, they're locked back in. But I think knowing the person who's pitching and their mindset, it kind of dictates how you talk to them.
Anything funny you've come up with lately? Like, I know I'd go out to the mound, like, for Sonny Gray, I'd go out there and give him a hug.
Yeah.
Probably people would be like, that would probably be funny, though. Yeah. But, like, sometimes, like, or Thurman Munch would come out and just say, this is some mess you created here. You better clean this thing up. And he'd go back. That'd be kind of funny. Like, in the middle of the moment, a base is loaded, And,
yeah. I mean, there's been some stuff I'm not too comfortable saying on the air, but... just stuff that you keep them loose with, and, point something out, get their attention off of what's going on. If it's all burning and going in flames, get their attention off that. Get them focused on just executing a pitch. But, yeah, no, just some stuff here and there.
Ben, we have any questions for?
A bunch of questions. What's it like to hit against Jacob deGrom? Or just like any of the top pitchers in baseball, really?
Were you impressed with his stuff?
Yeah, I was. Look, there's no joke that this guy is a really good pitcher. He's got really good stuff. He has a fastball that I tell you, I swear, it's almost rising a little bit at the end. It's got some pop. Throws a good cutter, slider. Threw all his pitches to both sides. He made it tough for us, but I thought we battled him that last game, and we couldn't keep as many runs off the board as we needed to. Yeah, I mean, but.
And only in this town, I always say, trade your expectation for appreciation. I'd sign up on April 1 for 30 games over 500 and playing the way you guys are playing, with considering a couple injuries. I would sign up for that. Yeah. I remind Yankee fans that all the time. Like, don't get yourself too caught up with what you thought should happen versus what really does happen.
Absolutely.
Right?
Stay in the now, stay in the real, but we're playing good ball. I mean, playing good ball. That's all you can do is go out there and
play hard. I mean,
right.
Something that the New York situation could get you a little tight. Do you feel a little tight because of the expectation, or you still feel you guys could stay calm and cool?
Nah, I mean, we're good. Nothing gets inside that clubhouse. It's amazing. I mean,
because you can see how that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it happen. Yeah, I mean, but this year, nothing. I mean, it's guys shrug stuff off. We move on. Guys pick each other up. I mean, it's. I know people say it, but this is one of the best teams I've ever. I mean, this is the best team I've ever been on.
Another question: who's some of the catchers that you looked up to growing up?
Growing up, I mean, well, Pudge, obviously. I mean, he was the guy to watch. Posada was good too, obviously, being on the Yankees, having that stigma.
Pudge, the mechanics. A lot of catchers talk about his mechanics being so almost perfect.
It was unbelievable.
Right?
I mean, he was throwing 1.67s, 1.7s down to second base. I mean, he couldn't steal. I mean, he's just got a cannon. But, I mean, doing it all around, I mean, he was the guy to watch.
He was special.
A lot of guys modeled their games after him. So, I mean, I was definitely one of them to watch him and went, dang, that guy can play.
But the thing that was amazing about Posada, lefty, left and right, which is hard to find a switch hitting catcher, but he hit really well against really good pitching.
Yeah.
The bigger the situation, the harder the pitching. Seemed like he did really well. Where, if you're a pretty good hitter, sometimes you do well. He always flourished in the moment of where people tend to struggle.
Yeah, the clutch hitters. I mean, you got to call them clutch because not many people have that, that characteristic. You can be a good hitter, but when it comes down to it, maybe the numbers aren't as good. But I like the guys that get it done in the clutch where the moment's never too big and they can slow the game down.
The Yankee situation, wearing the pinstripes. Is it real? Is it a mystique? Is it something special about playing in Yankee Stadium wearing those pinstripes? Is it, you have to have faith. You do believe in like signs and things. Certain things are just a certain way for some reason. I mean, there's a lot of other teams, but there's something about those pinstripes. Is it true for you now that you're in them?
Yeah. No, I mean, I've never been in anything else, so I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you right now, putting on those pinstripes and looking down, it's one of the coolest feelings ever, especially when you get to walk out on that field. And I'm always facing the outfield, so I get to see Yankee Stadium all the time. They're written up in the big blue on the facades and stuff. And It's cool, but when I go out for a mountain, I turn around and I come back and I see the little arches, the facade, and it really sinks in. You're like, man, I'm in Yankee Stadium. I'm wearing pinstripes. I mean, this is stuff you think about is when you're a kid in the backyard, you know, and you kind of got to see those moments when they come and enjoy the hell out of them.
There's no question. Like, what are the hopes and dreams you have at this point going forward? Like, how do you see, going forward? What are some of the things you want to have happen for you? What has to happen for you as a player, but also what happens for, do you do planning things outside of baseball?
Yeah, no, I mean, right now life is ball. I mean, it has to be for where I'm at. I was the guy that was fighting every year for a job. Every spring training was a job audition, and I didn't have the luxury of having multi-year deals and stuff like that. So
signing autographs.
I haven't been able to think about that. I just think about baseball and how I'm going to do well enough to provide for my family. And, this is how I do that, and I enjoy it, and I love baseball, and, I really like playing it, so I want to do it as long as I can.
Are you having as much fun, even though the pressure, to produce now, you don't get to sit for 4 games and wait for your turn. You're every day. Can you still have a lot of fun in this moment?
Man, I'm having more fun. I love playing every day.
You just love playing?
I just love playing baseball. I mean, I get to go out and play a game for a living, and I don't ever forget that. It may sound cliche, but, I mean, to be honest, I get to go out and play a baseball game. I don't forget that.
I mean, I know this is weird, but sometimes I kind of make believe like I'm back in my little office with 2 employees and trying to, I got this whole thing going on. Like, do you sometimes just make believe you're just playing Little League and just having some fun? Can you get into that mindset where you're blocking out the crowd, blocking everything out?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's gotten to now. The game is, like I said, slowed down. When I was a rookie, it was going fast. I could hear everything, everybody, Now it's just me and the guy, and you don't even really hear the crowd come in until after the plays are over and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's a job to do, there's a game to win. Everything kind of just goes out now in that point in my career, so I've been able to slow it down.
What's been your favorite moment as a Yankee?
Favorite moment as a Yankee? Well, I've been a part of a lot, but, I mean, obviously hitting my first home run, my first hit, those were great to be able to do in pinstripes. But I can go over the moment. I mean, Jeet's last hit, Pettitte's last game he threw in Houston. Just there's a bunch of moments that not too many people got to be around, and I've been around some really cool things.
Does it hurt to catch a 103-mile-an-hour fastball?
Yeah, if you don't catch it right. There's a lot of padding in those gloves, but not as much as you would think. There is a certain way to catch a ball where kind of like where the pocket meets the webbing of the glove. But if you don't catch it there, or a chappie decides that he's going to throw a cutter at 104, kind of just hang with him and deal with that bruise the next day.
And the dirt.
Yeah, you got to block them too. That's fun.
The blocking them seems to be a common thing these days, and tough, right? When
it's tough.
Tough with the weather too. I've noticed. Like I was thinking about this the other day. The weather's been, it's a little rainy, but it's
terrible.
Really humid.
Yeah.
I think if you're playing catcher on a day-to-day, like, you're taking the brunt of that.
I'm getting beat up. You can see my legs, man.
Yeah.
I'm bruised up, but it's part of it. The worst part is the humid.
Yeah.
Sweating my butt off out there.
It's tough out there.
It drains you.
Especially if the games start to get a little bit, extended with some runs. And
yeah, well, our relievers are really high octane, so it's hard to catch. Their pitches are all very top of the list, like really good sliders that are hard, fastballs at 100. So you got to be on top of your game. There's no resting. There's no... So I mean, it's gonna drain you. I mean, this.
Why do you think there's so many pitchers? I was thinking about this the other day that can now throw all of a sudden 100 or close to 100. I mean, we have like 3 guys that throw almost 100.
Yeah.
And back when I was a kid, I mean, nobody threw 100. So now all of a sudden, it's insane. It's crazy. Especially Dylan when he starts throwing 100. He's another one notorious where he'll throw 100, Betances, and then the next pitch 84 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know what
the
that is.
Slider, whatever it is.
You're up there like after 200 mile an hour. I'm thinking the third one's coming on.
Yeah, I just say it all the time. I tell them it's not fair. I'll tell them that's not fair, man. You can't do that. You can't throw 100 at someone's chin and then throw a 87 mile an hour curveball, slider, whatever you want to call it, that no one can hit anyway.
This guy's from Brooklyn. It's all about the border of
Great
Brooklyn.
dude, by the way. I played with him coming all the way up.
Really?
I caught him when he was a starter in low A. Threw 4 pitches, threw hard, had no idea where it was going, and now he's one of the best relievers that come out of the pen in the big leagues.
And he spent some time in the minors. He worked it.
He did. We did it. I remember catching him coming through the minors, but he had to go back even and fix some stuff. But I mean, when he is on, He's the best guy coming out of the pen in the big leagues. It's
I
just
think he's a
unbelievable.
sensitive soul too. I think a lot of who's managing him and the overall scheme is important. But you see a big guy like that, he's a gentle giant.
Yeah, man, he's a really
Right?
good human being, man. He's got a good heart.
My best wedding gift for him, by the way, which shocked him, is I'm like, dude, I know this wedding gift is not going to catch you by it's going to catch you by surprise, but I got these cordless headphones. I said, you're going to come home from the game. Your wife is not going to be interested in watching TV. You're going to wake her up, but you don't want to fall asleep in the living room. So I got him this cordless headphones. I said, you come home, you want to watch the highlights or whatever, and you can watch these in bed without disturbing your wife.
There you go.
And I think I hope that was one of the better gifts he got, because what do you get? What do you get a big leaguer for a wedding gift? But
Now you sound like everybody in my family.
But I figure big leaguers come home, they're not in family schedule. You get home a little late, you don't realize how off you are a little bit. And, it's like till 1 a.m, you're not just all of a sudden ready to go to sleep. So I figure you probably got to watch some TV, but don't fall asleep in the living room.
Yeah.
So now you can get into bed, not wake your wife up and watch TV.
Guilty.
It was a
of all
thoughtful
that.
gift.
That was a
It was
good one. You put a
thoughtful,
lot of
man.
effort in that. I can see.
I try,
I like that.
Well, because these guys put a lot of effort in what we're doing. Like you try to do something. You don't assume like that you guys have everything, because that's really not true, and you do need help with some things.
Absolutely.
So I figured if a couple of nights where you got into bed and wake your wife up, probably Steiner guy was smart. But I still can't hit his. I just was thinking, if I could just hit major league pitching, I just wanted to see what that's like. But I'm afraid I won't be getting out of the way if the ball didn't cut.
It's tough.
Yeah, I had $100,000 on it that I could hit Mariano's pitch. He's going to throw me 25 pitches. He was going to give me 100. We bet $100,000. Jeter was putting $100,000 in on it. We got up to 2. I was like, man, I think I want that bet, but then I'm like, if I don't get out of the way, I'm Mo's cutter.
Oh, he wouldn't hit you. He knows exactly where the ball's going.
Well, he asked me if I had life insurance.
Yeah, see, now he's just playing the head games. He's getting in your head.
Stuff like I'm like, man,
That was
why you got to go there?
That was one of most things. People were out before they went to the plate because it was Mo pitching, man. I remember catching him. It was crazy.
And
like
he had
people,
that just no look on it, just
Nothing.
complete, other
just,
than maybe a
I'm
smile
gonna
once
get you.
in a while.
I'm gonna put it right there. I mean, one of the best, most fun guys to catch out in the ninth inning. I went from catching the easiest guy in the ninth inning to one of the hardest throwers, and it's
a lot of it mental.
What do you mean? When
On
they
the
face guys like that?
Yeah, the pitching stuff. Like when you get in the 8th, 9th inning, a lot of it's just your mindset.
I think sometimes guys can see, oh man, I'm facing Chap, he throws hard, or I'm facing Dylan, he's got a really good slider, and that kind of stuff. Maybe put you behind just a little bit.
Once you start thinking about, yeah.
I hope they are.
Yeah, we talked about catchers before. What pitcher from growing up did you admire that you would have loved to have caught?
Caught? Who would I want to caught?
A lot of people talk about Nolan Ryan.
Man, that was the first one
often,
that popped in, but he's just throwing he's throwing hard. I got a lot of guys that throw hard.
Yeah, that's true at this point. Yeah.
Man, that's a tough question. I can't even think about it. Give me some names.
I would think Bob Gibson would be one interesting one. The guy that I always found the most interesting because he was so pinpoint was Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
Pedro would decide if he wanted to hit you. But I can't, let's talk about that one. Pedro is another one. I mean, just amazing command of the game and of the pitch. But I've had 2 pitchers in the last 2 weeks admit that they hit guys on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding? Doc Gooden, we're doing a Q&A at the stadium.
That was the one I was kind of thinking about.
He goes, and by the way, Doc in 85,
yeah.
this city shut down to watch him play.
That was the first thing I thought. I was like, maybe Doc, because I just wanted because that was unbelievable
curve,
watching some of
man.
that stuff. It would have been fun to try and see
But
how
he
it played
said
out.
Chili Davis, he could not get out, and he got so frustrated, he hit him at least 2 or 3 times. And I thought that was like, wow, that's random. And then David Wells said last week that he hit a bunch of guys that just pissed him off, and if they showed him up or they weren't acting right, he just would hit them next time at bat. I'm like, I guess that's David Wells, though.
That's Wellsy. He's
that's
great, dude.
crazy.
He's an awesome human being.
It's
I love
crazy. Yeah. David was one of those locker room,
Yeah, he still comes by. I saw him in the clubhouse the other day.
We did the
He's
Q&A
great.
the other day, and he was saying, I hit some guys. They just pissed me off, and I liked the way they acted. And
That's the
and they
old
have to
school
deal with-
mentality,
Yeah,
though. There's new school now where, even if you go in, guys get mad. But the old school, man, that's how I was raised. You're getting too close to the plate, you get brushed. You're taking too big a hacks, you get pushed back.
Got a favorite? You have a favorite teammate? Anybody? Who's your
my
BFF
guy?
on that? You got to be tight with the
I got a
pitchers.
couple. That's the thing. Is like
I hope Sonny Gray is one of them.
Sonny's a really good dude, man.
Gotta
He's
be your
funny,
boy.
man. He's a really good dude. He keeps it loose. He's a fun guy. Didi is really cool. I like Didi. Hicksy.
Yeah.
Torreyes.
We haven't seen Torreyes.
He's the best.
Where is Torreyes?
He's here. He's back.
Where the hell is this
He
guy? Been the
left me.
Energizer Bunny. I
He
mean,
left me for a little while. No, he had to take care of some family business, but
man, we miss him. He's like,
He's
I
the
mean,
best.
I know he's doing something, a little thing here and there. By the way, I think Sonny Gray, all the bull, I think somehow he comes and plays an incredibly important role somewhere.
yeah, his stuff's too good.
And ends up, he's
His
just too
stuff's
good.
too good. His stuff's too good. He's got to get in a groove and stay in it, and he just was never able to
Yeah.
find the groove. I mean, stuff moves so much, and it was fun to catch, and it was hard to catch at times. But his stuff's too good to it not play a role.
I think he ends up playing a role somehow.
I like
He
that
comes in
prediction.
and he's got
I like that.
I think people in New York I mean, it just drives me crazy. Now I've been on a lot of probably 30 games this year, so I kind of have a sense of how things kind of roll out, and the patience level of the Yankee fans sometimes gets me really aggravated because I'm like, guys, you know,
It's short this year. It's short.
Oh,
it's real
there's
short this year.
expectations.
Yeah, I got it. I know the
Yeah.
expectations.
And I always say, got to minimize expectations. They always lead to disappointment. Keep your expectations grounded to what's happening right now. Make no judgment, and you'll be good.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. Everybody's, how do you know what it's like, be on that mound? I mean, I can't.
tough.
I mean, but at the end of the day, if it's 3 or 4 years worth, I mean, the guy's his first year playing in this kind of environment. But I still think he's got. You watch him on certain days. I've seen him pitch probably 6 times live. I'm like, I've seen a couple of those really good efforts, and I'm like, when you see that,
It's
that's
there.
what.
Yeah. That's what I saw. I've seen all of them. I
Right.
saw the good and bad.
Yeah. So
It's
it's
there.
just a matter of it all clicking together, right?
It'll click.
All right, so you're in the grind of August. Everybody's waiting for September, thinking you guys can get down to 5 games and then go against Boston.
And they
and
all
maybe
want that,
finish
right?
up, right? Everybody, that's the dream that we're all.
I think we can do it too.
I think you
We
whittle it
have
down.
to. There's still games left. As long as there's games left, I mean, why can't it happen?
Either way, I see you guys ending up in October in 7 games.
Oh, we're going. We're going to win. That's all we do. We try and win.
All right, it looks like you're having fun though. That's what's important.
That's it.
Is there one guy on this team? I'll tell you my guy that I think is the differentiator. That if he plays exceptionally well, there's no stopping you. Now let's move Severino off to the side because we know he's such a critical part and he's a great pitcher and he figures out his stuff. Let's assume that everything works out for him.
Yeah.
Is there one guy that could be really that guy that carried his team a little bit?
Carry the team.
And I'm not letting you go with Stanton because he's already in the middle of it. He's in the mud. He's thick.
Are you taking Judge and Stanton off the board?
Well,
Because Judge does carry the team.
I
is the guy.
think, but we
He's
gotta
he's
hope
one of our
we gotta
guys.
hope he's coming back, and we gotta
Yeah.
but we take Judge and Stanton off the play, but we know what they represent.
I like Gardy, man. I like Gardy only because of him at the top of the lineup is lethal and the way he sets tables for everybody else. And he can hit homers too. If he can get hot, like real hot, in those times, which I have seen, and he plays up in the postseason, man. He's an unbelievable baseball player. But we have so many different key guys that it's hard to just pick one guy to be hot because we can have 2 hot, the rest off, and still win ball games. That's one of our strengths. Is
You're
that
deep.
not everybody? If everybody's on, I mean, look out. I mean, it's out of control. But I really like Gardy, man. I think he's the heart of this team, and I think that he does his job at the top, works unbelievably professional at bats.
He's a grinder.
It's unbelievable. And when he's on, we score runs. It just happens all the time. I see it all the time. Top line, he gets on, walk, bang. Something happens, we're up 1-0. His
I like
ability
him.
to manufacture runs, man. I'm always a Gardy fan.
I tell you, man, this is his last year. I hope we can hold on to him because this is last year of his contract.
Yeah.
My guy is Hicks,
Yeah.
and the reason I say Hicks, now I've never met him, but he is a 4-5 tool player,
Yeah.
legitimately, and can. Now I got Cashman in my ear, who's a big Hicks fan from a couple of years ago. Who the guy can run, he can feel great, he can make that big catch, he can hit home runs, hit for average. I'm going with Hicks. I think Hicks could be better than a 250, 260 hitter, which he is now. He could be a 300-plus hitter. He could start banging some home runs out and really get the middle of the lineup even tighter than what it is. But you know something? I still love this team. I mean, I haven't lost 1 ounce of enjoyment because I'm still dying of curiosity what Gleyber Torres is going to do every day. Because we haven't seen the best of him, and I'm still loving Andujar because, I like him hit a couple singles along with those homers and doubles, but
We'll take all doubles.
you know,
We'll take homers too, but we'll take the doubles.
How much fun is that guy?
Oh my God!
And
We're
then
starting to
last-
call him doubles Miggy because all he does is everybody's like another double, shocker. But I mean, this guy has got a good swing. He's a smart hitter, and he's young, and that's.
So young.
It's the approach to the plate is beyond his years, and we're seeing stuff. I mean, this guy hits missiles. I mean, he hit a line drive off the wall in right center last night for a double.
It was amazing.
He almost couldn't make it a second because he hit it so hard. But I mean, he's been picking up a lot of slack for us lately, and he's been someone we're relying on.
And he's been getting a lot of slack about the fielding. But
Yeah.
I love that they take him out last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a lot of guys that get taken out, they're not happy about it. Meanwhile, he's the first guy out of the dugout when the game's over. Congratulating. They interview him, so I listened to the post-game interview, and the first thing out of his mouth says, listen, I'm not upset that they took me out. I've got to play better. I'm going to keep working on it, and I'm going to keep practicing. I'm going to keep working hard to be a better third baseman.
Yep.
I love that. I mean, who does that?
It just goes to the team, man.
Yeah.
He knows what it's about. He
I
knows
think
it's
there's a
about
great
team.
message. I think you guys have a great message that you've been sending out, and that karma's really good. I wish you all the luck, man. Looks like you're having fun.
I'm having a blast. I love this
Now,
stuff.
are you sticking with that? Are you sticking with your song before you bat, or does that
I haven't changed all year. Everybody really likes the Zeppelin song.
All right.
I think I had a Steppenwolf song in there too. But I think
Maybe a little Bruce.
Yeah. I thought about a couple other things, but I can't get rid of the Zepp because people love it so much.
Yeah, I think you got to stay with it.
It's working, so I'm not going to change too much.
There's a little diversity in those songs before the players. Congratulations. Keep up the good
Appreciate
work.
it. Thanks for the time.
I like the Hustle Award. I think
do too.
those are the awards that, that's the only awards I would have ever won.
Yeah.
The Hustle Grind
I'm in
Award.
that category too.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
man.
think there's better things coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's better
Well,
things
keep
coming.
doing your job and hopefully.
Congratulations. Thanks for everything you do for Steiner. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys having me, man. I had a blast.